Hi, I'm Sailor Eric. Firstly, I want to thank those of you that have started following my videos. Your support really means a lot to me. I greatly appreciate you. This channel is for those of you who are interested in learning more about sailing. I consider myself a cruiser and have aspirations to sail great distances and across oceans. I'm currently full-time employed in Chicago, but I'm eagerly looking forward to the day that I can focus solely on sailing and travel. In the meantime, I look to continue to build on the experience and insight necessary to live and survive on a sailboat. On Saturday, July 27th, we were looking to have another pleasant and sunny day sail day in Lake Michigan. The crew was comprised of Corey, Pat, and Vince, all of whom I've been sailing with for multiple years. The wind was forecast to come from the southeast at about 10 knots. As we were preparing to leave the harbor, I noticed the sound of multiple jet aircraft, and when I looked up, I noticed the fuselages were painted with a blue and gold paint scheme. I immediately thought, what are the Blue Angels doing here today? Note that most sailors in Chicago are aware that the Chicago Air and Water Show will be happening on the weekend of August 10th, and the Blue Angels are scheduled to close out that show. Could they be here today, practicing and subsequently giving us a free show? Stay tuned until the end to find out. In the meantime, let's start talking about sailing. And please, don't forget to press that like button and subscribe if you appreciate and want to see future videos. Today, I really wanted to do a thorough job of covering raising the sails on Silverheels, which is a classic Pearson 424 ketch built in 1978. Notice the mast steps protruding from the main mast. These are a great addition to a mast for a single-handed sailor or a short-handed crew, as it makes it much easier to get up the mast underway to correct a problem if one presents itself. The steps create an increased chance of fouling or catching the halyard when raising the mainsail. You can see how the halyard can catch and entwine itself on the steps up the mast. The proper way to address that is to shake the halyard and clear it from the steps prior to raising the mainsail. Notice also the lazy jack lines that attach from the mast down the length of the boom. These are three-legged lazy jacks, meaning they have three attach points on the boom or at the base. These lines are designed to gather the sail when it is lowered, which is a great convenience. But when raising the main, these lines might get tangled with the mainsail as it is raised. The lazy jacks should be pulled taut when lowering the main, so the sail nicely gets gathered as it comes down. But the lazy jacks should be loosened when raising the main to decrease the chance of the mainsail catching on those lines. One additional thing to pay attention to is the reefing lines. Reefing lines are rigged in the sail to make decreasing the sail area easy. These lines have to be slackened when raising the sail, but they can get caught on deck hardware as the sail is being raised. In this particular case, a reefing line did get caught on the crease of a hatch and required clearing as it was preventing the mainsail from being raised. So let's take a look at raising the main from start to finish. We went out of the harbor on an easterly course and past the 4-mile crib on a close reach with the sails in tight and wind coming from the southeast. Silverheels performs well and often gives us her highest speeds at this point of sail. The crew enjoys it when we sail fast. Notice that the foresail is nearly touching the spreader. That's the metal horizontal bar protruding from the mast. We do not tighten or pull in that sail any further than that because we do not want to damage that sail with excessive chafing against this metal piece of hardware. Just imagine that the sail could flap and bang against that hardware and ultimately tear. We want to prevent that. Corey and I have been sailing together for about 7 years.
Yeah, about 7 years now.
Yep, and so he knows the boat. Corey, what do you like? What do you like about sailing Silverheels?
Well, the space, number one. This cockpit is huge, lends itself to a lot of ability to, kind of communicate and connect with people. And then this boat can take anything. We've sailed in some pretty high winds, and it handled itself really good. It's just a classic boat. There's a lot of history to it. Yeah, and I love the people that it's attracted.
What keeps you coming back?
Just the sound of the water. The sound of the water, silence. Once we turn that engine off and we raise the sails, it's just the perfect feeling.
What do you like about Silverheels, Pat?
I love this boat. It's a ketch, and I've always dreamed of owning a ketch. The sail plan gives you so many opportunities to sail in all types of conditions quite well. At any one time on a day like today, we could easily raise 4 sails with no problem at all. And Eric and I, just double-handing, have had 5 sails up at a time, and it was just comfortable. Not too many boats I've been on that you've got such variety, and that's the beauty of a ketch. Plus, Silverheels is heavy. She's got that big keel under her. She steers just straight. Once you get her on a course, it wants to go straight, which makes helming a breeze compared to many other boats like a sloop. She's roomy, she's heavy, and for a boat this big and heavy, I think she's fast. It's easy to raise sails, and like I said, the variety of sail plans means we can go out in any weather. She takes big weather, big waves, which happen in Lake Michigan. People that aren't familiar with Lake Michigan don't realize the violence that this lake can throw at a boat. The waves here are big and very short wave lengths, so the violence compared to the ocean on a daily basis here is much more. And yes, the ocean's got its violence. I've been out there. But this is much more frequently. You get 10-foot waves, it feels like you're maybe in the ocean in 30-foot waves because they're very violent.
We changed our course to a broad reach with the wind behind us heading north and decided to raise the staysail, which would be the 3rd sail for the day. We next headed southwest on a close reach. Notice the tight sails. East on a close reach, and then north on a broad reach. Notice the loose sails on a broad reach. All while the wind was consistently blowing 11 to 14 knots from the southeast. After 3.5 hours of sailing, we headed southwest back to Monroe Harbor on a beam reach. It was such a pleasant day on the water with great wind, sunshine, and wonderful company. Oh yeah, what about the air show? Though the tight formation might be consistent with what the Blue Angels might achieve, the number of aircraft, 11, the type of aircraft, those are not F-18 Super Hornets, and the routine that they were doing all suggested that it was not the Blue Angels. These were instead the Italian Air Force aerobatic team. And after the sale, I learned that they had to cancel their scheduled performance for the Chicago Air and Water Show. So instead, on this particular day, they decided to do a pop-up routine for us. The aircraft they were flying is the Aermacchi MB339. If you enjoyed the video and stayed through the end, please hit the like button on the video and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, I wish you fair winds and following seas.